Brad Keselowski just dropped a bombshell on RFK Racing, and we're exploring all the details.
Yeah, certainly RFK, we're having a really busy off-season with, a number of personnel changes, with the 6 team, and then adding another car with the 60 with Ryan Preece and Kroger, and a slew of sponsors that we're adding. So
RFK Racing is making some serious moves in the NASCAR silly season, and it's all centered around their expansion plans for 2025. The team is gearing up for a 3-car lineup, and they're not pulling any punches. First up, let's talk about the new addition to the team, Ryan Preece. RFK Racing recently announced that they're bringing Preece on board for the 2025 season. This is a big deal. Preece is coming over from the now defunct Stewart-Haas racing team, and he's got something to prove. But RFK Racing isn't just adding a new driver, they're going all in with a 3rd charter. The team has leased a charter from Rick Ware Racing for their number 60 Ford. This move shows that RFK is serious about expanding their presence on the track. RFK Racing has secured a major deal with Kroger for the 2025 season. This isn't just any sponsorship with Stewart, we're talking about a partnership with a $42 billion market cap company. That is a serious financial backing. Keselowski himself is pretty excited about this deal. He called it a proper NASCAR program with really elite marketing that benefits us in so many different ways, but he also acknowledged the pressure that comes with such a big partnership. Keselowski said, "We know we've got to go out there and win. We're committed to doing that, but we also have to do a great job of delivering off the track with how we take care of Kroger." It's worth noting that this isn't Kroger's first rodeo in NASCAR. The company has been a primary sponsor in the Cup Series with JTG Daugherty Racing since 2010. They've even tasted victory, winning 3 races, including the 2023 Daytona 500 and 2024 Yellowwood 500 at Talladega Superspeedway with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. behind the wheel. But here's where things get interesting. The arrival of Kroger has stirred up some drama in the RFK Racing camp. According to reports from NASCAR insider Adam Stern, there's a conflict brewing between RFK Racing and their current sponsor, Kings Hawaiian. Kings Hawaiian has been with RFK Racing since 2022, primarily featured on Keselowski's number 6 Ford, but now it looks like they might be heading for the exit. Why? Well, it all comes down to competing business interests. You see, Kroger has several bakery brands under its umbrella, including Bimbo Bakeries USA. This puts them in direct competition with Kings Hawaiian, which is a traditional bakery that's been operating since 1950. The conflict arises because Kroger's partnership allows them to feature their partner vendors on the sponsored cars, potentially reducing the return on investment for Kings Hawaiian. While neither RFK Racing nor Kings Hawaiian has made an official statement about this, reports suggest that Kings Hawaiian is open to switching to a new team. This could be the start of a domino effect in NASCAR sponsorships. So where might Kings Hawaiian land if they do leave RFK Racing? There are a few possibilities. Joe Gibbs Racing could be an option. The number 11 team, driven by Denny Hamlin, recently parted ways with their longtime sponsor FedEx after 19 years. Kings Hawaiian could step in to fill that gap. Another potential landing spot is Hendrick Motorsports, specifically Chase Elliott's car. HMS recently lost their partnership with Hooters due to financial constraints. Kings Hawaiian might find this an attractive option, as they would only need to fund a limited number of races, unlike with Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, there's also the possibility that Kings Hawaiian could exit NASCAR altogether. It wouldn't be unprecedented. We've seen other brands close their NASCAR accounts in recent years. Now, let's circle back to RFK Racing's plans for 2025. With the addition of Ryan Preece, the team will have a formidable lineup consisting of Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, and Preece. Keselowski has set some ambitious goals for this trio, aiming to get all 3 cars into the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, let's look at RFK Racing's performance in 2024. Keselowski managed to secure a playoff spot after picking up a win in the regular season race at Darlington Raceway in May. Unfortunately, his teammate Chris Buescher narrowly missed out on the playoffs. Buescher was in a good position heading into the final regular season race, but a surprise win by Chase Briscoe at the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway in September knocked him out of contention. Despite the setback, the fact that RFK Racing had 2 playoff-worthy cars in 2024 is an encouraging sign for the team's future, especially with the addition of a 3rd car. Now, let's talk about the latest controversy surrounding RFK Racing, the paint scheme debacle. With less than 2 months to go before the preseason action kicks off at Bowman Gray Stadium, RFK Racing released the 2025 Castrol paint schemes for Brad Keselowski's number 6 and Ryan Preece's number 60 Fords. But here is the catch, they're identical. This decision raised some eyebrows in the NASCAR community. Auto Racing Analytics in particular criticized the move, arguing that teams should have unique paint schemes for easy recognition. They tweeted, "I think RFK has great schemes, but I wish they wouldn't spread them between cars. I wish 17 equals Fastenal, 6 equals Castrol, 60 equals Build Submarines or some combination. I wish the teams had a visible identity. I think that helped more than we know in the 90s zeros." But Keselowski wasn't about to let this criticism go unanswered. He responded with 2 key reasons for the shared paint scheme. First, he explained that it provides more value to their partners by giving them increased access to all 3 drivers and cars. This makes sense from a marketing perspective, so more exposure across multiple cars means more bang for the sponsor's buck. But it's Keselowski's second reason that really caught people's attention. He stated, "Our employees have increased assurance that if a sponsor leaves, we are significantly less vulnerable to not being able to fund a team. This shows a level of strategic thinking that goes beyond just on-track performance." Keselowski is clearly thinking about the long-term stability and success of RFK Racing. Now let's talk about Ryan Preece and why his addition to RFK Racing is such a big deal. Preece comes to the team with a less than stellar record in the Cup Series. He's had 187 Cup starts without a win, including 72 in the past 2 seasons with Stewart-Haas Racing. His best finish in the final playoff standings was P23 in 2023, and he slipped to P26 in 2024. So why is Keselowski betting on Preece? Well, the RFK Racing co-owner sees something in Preece that reminds him of another underdog story, Joey Logano. Keselowski drew parallels between Preece's situation and that of Logano back in 2012. At the time, many critics doubted Logano's worthiness of a Cup ride. Now Logano is a 3-time champion. Keselowski explained his faith in Preece, saying, "I see Ryan as someone who has talent and work ethic, but probably hasn't had the opportunities he needs to be successful. This vote of confidence from a former champion could be just what Preece needs to turn his career around." For Preece, this move to RFK Racing represents a huge opportunity and a lot of pressure. He was the last Stewart-Haas Racing driver to secure a seat for 2025, and now he needs to prove himself in a team with higher standards and increased scrutiny. If he succeeds, he could change his narrative in the Cup Series. If he fails, it could spell the end of his hopes for a long-term future at NASCAR's highest level.
Might have been missing that you guys can give him to get him over the edge to get that win and to run up front more.
I can't say one thing. There's just some edges that we want to clean up, and we think he's got the right mentality to get there.
So when did the conversation with Preece start?
Gosh, I guess I called him this last May or April or May. So we've been working on it for a while for sure.
Your operating expenses haven't exactly increased by 50%. Who's minding the checkbook, and what's more stress on you, a team owner or driver?
Yeah, as a company, RFK, we're 3 entities that have come together. So our company, Lewis, runs off of a board of directors, and we all manage it. I don't know, what was the other question?
Yeah, how do you handle the stress, though, because the bottom line here is the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, there's financials and there's always constraints. All businesses have them, particularly in motorsports. We push the budget pretty hard, and it's part of how race teams compete is making the most out of every dollar. So we just try to be as efficient as we can be, and I'm fortunate to have some really good people that carry their weight.
Preece seems to understand the weight of this opportunity. He said, "It's an opportunity that I'm really eager and excited for. It's somewhere that these guys had speed last year. I mean, you look at how many weeks in a row that Brad and Chris finished top 2 or top 3 and had some extremely good stats and found victory lane. So for me, it's a great opportunity, one that's filled with pressure. But I think if you've looked at my career in those pressure type situations, I've succeeded. I'm grateful for the opportunity." Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture of RFK Racing's expansion to 3 cars. This move is more than just adding another driver. Yeah, it's a statement of intent. Keselowski explained the reasoning behind this expansion, saying, "You look at NASCAR now and the way practice works and having limited exposure, you look at maybe the costing of the sport with what it takes for us to operate. Having 3 teams gives us more data, helps us be better with how we spend our money." He added, "I think it's a clear statement that we're serious about the sport for a long time to come and that we're committed to competing for wins and hopefully championships for years to come." This expansion to 3 cars has been a goal for RFK Racing since they scaled back from 3 full-time teams after the 2016 season. In the past 2 years, RFK has shown promising speed, with both Keselowski and Buescher claiming victories and frequently contending for wins. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to NASCAR Insider to stay updated on upcoming content.